I don't care if you agree with me or not. This is just a fact. This is a fact. Trading, no matter what you're trading, just the art of technical analysis, the art of looking at a chart, the art of looking at the lines on your screen, that art is 95% psychological, mental, and 5% actually what you're looking at on the screen. So, most of the trading aspect is just your mentality towards it, your psychological mindset, um, as opposed to actually knowing what you're doing. Obviously, you need to know what you're doing. That's part of the game. That's part of just trading. You need to know support, resistance. You need to know price action levels. You need to know RSI, MACD, whatever your indicators are. You need to actually know the actual things that are on the screen. But a majority of the actual trading is all mental. The first one being you can't have any emotions. We're all human, right? We're all live. Humans have emotions, and we are all humans. The key is to minimize those emotions. The key is not to roll with the highs or go with the lows. Say you're making tons of money. You're making tons of money, or you've been consistent for X amount of days. You can't get too hyped about it. You can't get too happy about it. You can't be like jumping up and down in your seat. I know you've probably seen some YouTubers or some just people in general once they say they have a successful trading day. Mid trade, they're like jumping up and down. They're like, "Oh my god, like this is going in my direction." You, and then on the flip side of the coin, you can't get too down. You can't get too discouraged. You can't be too just down on yourself when things aren't going your way. You kind of have to have like that Jalen Hurts mentality, just even keel, stoic. You're pretty much just even the whole time. You're not high, you're not low. You're just right in the middle. I view it like this. I view the trading aspect like this. I view it as okay, this is a part of the game. Say you're making money, right? I'm like, all right, this is supposed to happen. I had a trade plan going into it. This was my max loss. This was my max gain or potential gain. So why am I getting overhyped? Why am I getting so emotional when I going into the trade? I already kind of knew where I was going to exit, where I was going to enter, and where I was going to exit. There's no reason for there to be any surprise factor, or no reason to be for there to be any emotion because going into the trade, you already have your set plan. You already have your idea of where you're going to get in and get out. So that's controlling your emotions, not getting too up, not getting too down is the biggest thing. Um, for me, when I had my biggest trade when I was younger, when I first started, I was trading options, made about 1,200 in a day, or not even in a day, in like 10 minutes. I was in class, just had my laptop open in class using TD Ameritrade. I remember it exactly. I, I was I bought some calls on Mastercard, MA, I believe the ticker. Within 10 minutes, made $1,200, and I was so hyped. I was so like jumping out of my seat. My boy sitting next to me like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, fuck school. I'm making all this money right now. Fuck all this. Fuck all this." And I was so like, I'm the man. Like this is I do this. Like that's not a bad mentality to have, but you got to realize at the same time you're gonna have your L's as well. You're gonna have those losses, and you know how I'm saying, "Oh, I'm the man. I made all this money." But say you were to lose, you're like, then you'll probably be like, if you're an emotional person, you'll be like, "Damn, is trading even for me? Like, should I even trade? Like, I lost X amount of money. Like, I'm a failure. Trading's a scam. Like, this is the most bogus thing." It's both sides of the coin. right? It's part of the game that you play. It's part of the trading aspect, the psychology, the mental behind it. A lot of like when I first got started, and I guess beginners as well, emotion plays a huge part because for a lot of people, you've never been able to sit on a computer screen for an hour or less than that and make so much money. Make more than a week's worth of pay in 10 minutes, or make more than a month's worth of pay in an hour. Like that's a great feeling to have. That's a great feeling knowing that you could just open your laptop or just sit at home on your desktop, look at the charts, make money. Then again, you gotta always play devil's advocate. You could lose money just as easy as you can win. You can easily lose, and just being stoic is the biggest thing. And you know what helps me? So before I trade, what helps me maintain that even keel? So what I like to do, so I live in New York, so the market opens 9:30 here. So it gives me time to like do stuff before every time before I place a trade, every time I wake up, brush the teeth, whatever, I go for a run. That's the first thing I do before trading. I go for a run, minimum 3 miles, sometimes seven, but minimum 3 miles. I like to get, I would like to at least be running for at least 20, 25 minutes. I need to do something physical because when you do something physical, for me at least, it gets you out of that mind state or that framework. It gets you out of your head essentially. I didn't have the words for it, but it gets you out of your head, and you come back to the screen with a clear mind. You come back to the screen level headed. You come back to the screen like, that euphoria you get when you run or you just do something hard, or you take an ice bath or whatever, doing something hard. You know how that feel good feeling after that. That's what I get from running. So I'll run, right, 3 miles, 4 or 5 miles, whatever. Then I'll go on the screen. Then I'll look at the charts. Then I'll trade because that gives me like that calmness. It gives me that state of mind where I'm like, all right, here we go. It gives me that relaxed mindset because with trading, it's not like you could force it. It's not like you can manhandle a trade to go how you want it. It's not like you could with brute force, like force Nvidia to go this way. You can't keep buying into it, think keep buying into it, think it's gonna continue to go up. You can't like force it up. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you could just force. It's something that you have to flow with rather than forcing. It's like what is it? Bruce Lee said you have to be like water. Kind of have to. That's how essentially how it is. Be like water, dance with it. You have to be in flow state. Also when I run, after I run, it puts me more in that flow state. It puts me more in that headspace where I could, like I said, think correct. And I ran even before doing this video because all my best ideas come when I run, and I'm able to just portray my message better because I'm just calm, cool, collected. Because I did the hard for the day. I completed the hardest thing I'd do for the day before my day even started. If you could start your day with doing something hard, then once you come to the charts, once you come to the screen, you'll be cool, calm, and collected because nothing's gonna bother you. So even if you place a trade, it hits your stop loss. That's part of the game. As long as you have a plan on when the trade's not going your way. If you just hold and the trade's not going your way, you just continue to hold. You continue to hold. All right, that's not being smart. That's not being a good trader. But with the running aspect and just doing something hard before I get into onto the charts, it allows me to take those losses. because I'm just calm about it. It allows me to be stoic because I already did something hard. This is my mindset. I don't know if what I'm saying would make sense to you, but it makes sense for me. Um, just the doing something hard aspect of it. The loss doesn't seem as bad. You just think of it as, all right, this is a part of the game. This is part of my trade plan. I said this was going to be my max loss. All right, we lost this amount. All right, let's close the screen and go outside and go about our day. That's how I maintain my emotion, by doing something physical, which gets me out my mental, and which allows me to be clear minded, clear headed. Because this is all trading, bro. It's the actual concept of trading. Anyone could do it. I touched on this in a different video, but anyone could do it. It's not like you need to have a finance background. You need to be the best analyst. You need to go to Harvard Business School. This is something anyone could pick up on. Like, I sometimes be like, damn, I went to UConn. I could have did this without having to go all the way over there. I could have. I'm paying all these student loans because I learned all this on YouTube pretty much. I didn't need school to teach me how to trade. Like, I read a couple books. Trading in the Zone, by the way, is the psychology of trading. I highly recommend it, by Mark Douglas. That's a lot of the concepts I talk about in these videos are all from that book, and it made me 100 times better trader. Uh, Investing is different. I need to drop a video on just investing because there's a big difference between investing and trading. But back to my point, right? It's all about the mental. It's all about the psychology. It's all about the just using your brain in the right way. It's not difficult to actually trade. That the concept of trading is not that difficult. It's more so being disciplined to your plan, being disciplined to your strategy. Like, I dropped the video on this as well. So it's all about your game plan. It's all about your strategy. It's all about knowing when you're getting in, when knowing when you're getting out. On both sides of the coin, whether it's going your way or whether it's not going your way, you need to have a plan regardless. Like a fire. If there's a fire in a building, we have fire drills for a reason. If a fire is on this side of the building, we exit that way. If it's on that side of the building, we exit this way. There's always a game plan. You always have to have a plan. And coming up with the plan is not the hard part, right? We could all come up with the plan. It sounds cool. Conceptually, it sounds cool. But if you don't actually do it in the moment, then that plan you're just writing it down for no reason. Like me, I literally write down in this notebook whether I win, whether I lose. I write down my trades. I write down what went well. I write down what didn't go well. And there's times where I made money, decent amount of money, but I didn't stick to my set plan. And I was more pissed about that. Like, it's cool that I made money, but I didn't stick to the plan that I set, and it just so worked out that it worked in my favor. But I was mentally just like, all right, next time I've got to make sure I stick to this because, say for example, I was down on the trade more than I said I was going to be, and then it reversed into my favor. All right, that's cool, but I shouldn't have been down X amount in the first place because I said I would get my stop loss would be here. I said the most I would lose is the $100, $200. But sometimes it does work out in your favor. But I don't want to. That's luck. That's just chance. You can't like this is not a game of chance. This is not. You don't trade. You don't become. It's not a game of luck. It's a game of having a strategy. It's a game of probability. That's all it is. Trading is just probability. And just trying to make it so the probability of your play, the probability of your game plan works. If your trade can work 1 out of 3 times or 1 out of 4 times, depending on your risk to reward, you're golden. You could succeed. It's like baseball, right? You could be hitting 300 and be a Hall of Famer. Your trades could be hitting 300, meaning 3 out of the 10 trades you place go in your favor. But if your risk to reward is there, you could still be profitable. You could still make money because you have the margins. You set the proper risk to reward. So your risk should always be less, way less than your reward, because then it wouldn't make sense if your risk is greater than your reward, and that doesn't make any sense to me. So this is just more on emotion. If you're an emotional person, I would say I'm an emotional person, but I tend to like hide it. If you're emotional when it comes to your trading, right? I would say do something difficult prior to your trading. Do something, and just in life, this is just a life tip. But just do something that's difficult as soon as you wake up. Do something that's hard. It could be running. It could be going to the gym, like lifting weights. It could be ice bath. It could be cold shower. Whatever. Do something physical that is hard, and then once you look at the screen, once you actually begin the trading process, it's gonna be you're gonna be more you're gonna be in a mindset where you're actually gonna stick to your plan because you just did a hard ass task. You literally just did some craziness, sat in an ice bath for 5 minutes. Like, this is nothing to me. The charts are nothing to me, so I'm gonna stick to my plan. I hope that resonates. It makes sense in my head. I hope I depicted it in the right light. I hope what I'm explaining kind of makes sense to you. But if you got one thing from this, just one thing, just do something hard before you go into the trading physically, and your mind will be clear. Because, like I said, this is 95% mental, psychological. You'll think better. Even if it doesn't have to even be trading. Before, like, an interview, before you go to work, before you have to give a speech. Do something hard prior to it. And then it's going to make the task that you were looking forward to, or the task that you were nervous about, or the trading, it's going to make it seem so much easier because you did something that was way harder before. So it's only going to be easier. You're going to be calmer in your mind. You just have to, because you just did some difficult ass shit. So try it. Let me know. Stay tuned. I'll be doing more chart analysis in the future. I've been doing a little bit here and there. And yeah, more of the live trading, more of me breaking down my trades, and I'm growing this $300 account to 1,000. I think the account's $395 right now. So I don't trade every day because I only have the 3-day trades, and I'm also working. So yeah, I'm just growing it to 1,000, and then I'll make a video of every individual trade. But stay tuned. Peace.